Yeah.
By the way, for those people that complain about Kenya,
Yeah.
Kenya is this, hatuna infrastructure, our politicians are corrupt. You know what? Just take a 1-hour flight. Go to our neighboring countries.
Yeah.
You will appreciate Kenya.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we are a superpower.
Hey guys, welcome again to the channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. Okay, so in today's video, we're actually going to Kenya. Let's switch it up a bit, right? Okay, so we're going to Kenya, and a lot of people have been complaining about the cost of living in Kenya. Like, I have a lot of stitches for you guys today, like a lot of videos for you guys to watch. Okay, so we're going to watch those videos and see what people are saying about the cost of living in Kenya, especially foreigners. Like, foreigners are complaining about the cost of living in Kenya and how these things. For me, I don't think Kenya is so expensive, because if you compare that to Europe and the US, you guys already know, right? Anyway, let's go watch these videos, that will come back and talk about them.
Hey Kenya, this is not fair for you guys. These shoes, look at them. Look, I have the same, exact same. I bought them in Dubai, one of the most expensive countries in the world, and I paid around 20,000 shillings for my Nikes in Dubai. You know how much they cost here in Kenya? 35,000 shilling. That is a whooping 75% more, like almost double the price as I pay in Dubai. This is not fair, Nike Kenya. This is not fair.
Hey, I'm buying gas here in Garanero town at Nyakeo stores, and I've got a big one here for 3,000 shillings and a small one here for 1,350 shillings. The big one's better value, I think, but the smaller one is good for cooking and a bit more convenient. But yeah, really good stuff. Gas is a really good way of making a little bit of an income here as a sort of side hustle or just selling gas. But you've got to have the container, so this is just the gas price. So this is a great place to come and get your gas. You've got lots of gas options here. You can go to the hotel here, or you can buy sort of convenience stuff here. Really, really good stuff here in Garanero town.
But yeah, like I was saying, the cost of living, it ranges, and I can only speak for myself, you know what I mean? Like, I know other people that are families, there are single people out here that are expats, but for the most part, I know my budget, I know what I'm working with, you know what I mean? But if you're a single person, Ty, then it's like, it's gonna be way less, you know what I'm saying? Like, you won't have to worry about schooling, your housing may be cheaper depending on where you wanna be at in a good area. Based on when we were looking around, it ranges from like 1,000 USD to 2,000, even 25,000, 2,500 USD. So that's in Nairobi, and Nairobi's expensive. So if you move further out of Nairobi, like if you just want to be on the continent, period, like it's very budget friendly here. But a lot of people, I noticed, maybe going back to the States because they don't have that residual income coming in. So make sure you have a steady income and save up your money, because you're gonna need everything all over again. You're gonna need curtains, you're gonna need a bed, you're gonna need sofas. Unless you wanna take your time, pole, you know, slowly, you'll gain all that stuff back. But if you wanna get everything like that within a couple months, then yeah, I would advise you to save a nice little nest egg and then come here. Some places require you to pay 3 months in advance, some even 6 months. But there are definitely places that you can get 400 for rent. I would say the nightlife is fairly cheap. Everything, you just walk in, drinks are a decent amount. Usually people get beers, it's like $2, $1 for a beer. If you like margaritas like me, they are a little higher depending on where you go, because you are in the city. But you can afford it if you budget it into your budget and you eat locally, shop locally. You know, even if you want to buy clothes, most of the time it may be secondhand, but guess what? You can stretch it out, look at it, check it out. That's where you'll save your money so that you can live in that nice apartment. You can take matatus that are like 20 key shillings. That's like maybe 10 cents to get to where you want to go. Uber's a little bit more expensive, but it's still cheaper than the States. They have Bolt out here, they have Little Italy, they have Little Cab out here. That's way cheaper. A Boda, I would say, I love Bodas, trust me. But I'm trying not to take them as much because they are a little dangerous. But it's like 90, 100 key shillings to get to where you want to go, depending on if you're in the city or not. So transportation is not expensive. Food's not expensive. I would say the most expensive thing is your home and, you know, buying your appliances and stuff like that. You can even shop locally for that. But like I said, if you have any more questions, let me know. But I hope I answered you to the best of my ability. I did a 2-part job for you, girl. All right, talk to y'all later. It's your girl, Doll Babe, coming to you live from my bedroom.
3,000 Kenyan shillings, 1, 2, 3, is equivalent to 14 pounds. 3,000 Kenyan shillings is equal to 14 pounds. If you round it off, it's gonna be 15 pounds. Yeah. The exchange rate is 1 pound is equal to 207 Kenyan shillings. And it's going up very fast because when I went to convert my money, my Kenyan shillings to pounds, in the first week of January 2024, it was actually 202 Kenyan shillings for 1 pound. When I went back the next week, it was 207 Kenyan shillings. This is the 3rd week of January. It's probably higher. And at the airport, of course, it's more expensive because there's some money I did forget to convert. So I had to convert at the airport. And there it was 215 Kenyan shillings for 1 pound. It's crazy. I don't know what the exchange rate is right now, but
countries are expensive. I've lived in countries that are really expensive. In fact, there are countries that are really expensive, even here in Africa. Like coming from Nigeria, there's some things I buy here in Rwanda and I'll tell myself like, are you kidding me? Right? The cost is so high, even though that things are really high in Nigeria currently. But when compared to what I say buy it here, I'll be like, oh more, this is still expensive, right? And even when I was in Kenya, there are some things that are really expensive in Kenya that are also affordable in Nigeria. So all these things depends on your lifestyle. If I decide to keep eating my kind of food, my Nigerian food, trust me, it's going to be expensive. Any day I decide to eat just Rwandan food or things are available more in Rwanda than getting things that are imported, is kind of affordable. Now, in terms of housing, it depends on where you are living. The prices of things will skyrocket. Now, if you're living in Nairobi, depending on where you're living in Nairobi, you cannot compare someone who lives in Thika Road to someone who lives in Westland or what's it called, Kilimani. Okay, those places are quite expensive. Okay, so if you live in those places, trust me, the cost of living will be on the high side, right? Unlike your Thika Road counterparts, right? But for someone who lives in Mombasa also, right, if I'm living in Bamburi, I can't compare my house rent to someone living in Nyali. Okay, that's just how it is. Okay, now when you come into Rwanda, you can't compare someone who lives in Kimironko to someone who lives in Kimirura. So all these places are quite, they have their own market, they have their own people who decide to live in those places. So wherever you choose, it is because you have the money to pay for it. Okay, now going to a Nike shop and you're coming out to say, oh, this is very expensive, I bought this in Dubai for this amount, why is this so expensive in Nairobi? You can't expect Nike to be the same price you bought it in Dubai, okay, because there is cost of shipping, for God's sake, and you can't compare the cost of shipping from wherever Nike is coming from to Dubai and that of Kenya, right? So the prices are quite different. They're going to be different. So I don't see the need for all the comparison here, okay? But trust me, the world is currently on recession. Things are on the high side. People are experiencing high cost of living. Even where I'm coming from, every day people are complaining of high cost of rice, high cost of beans. In fact, in Nigeria currently, beans is more expensive than rice. Okay, recently I just heard that the price of fuel is now 1,030 naira. Now you cannot expect me to buy a fuel for 1,030 naira, and I'm running a particular business which I uses fuel, okay, to produce that thing. Trust me, the cost of my products will also go high, right? Because I'm buying fuel on a high side. So these are the things that we all have to consider before we start comparing prices of things in different countries. It's okay to compare, but let's also have at the back of our mind that the cost of shipping can actually inflate the prices of goods in a particular country, and that's why sometimes you find that those things are more expensive in this place compared to wherever you are coming from. Okay, that's just it. But finally, okay, let me drop this here. You cannot still compare the price of living in Africa to that of the Europe or the USA or any other Western country. Trust me, you cannot be compared because Africa has made things quite affordable. You get cheap labor, you get cheap things, like just making things affordable for their citizens, okay, and every other person who lives in Africa. I saw a video of a man who was saying something about living in Africa is quite affordable, and you can literally become a millionaire in Africa very easily, okay, and have a very good life, comfortable life, okay. I'm going to drop his video right now after my talk. You're going to see the next video you're going to see is this video, and he was making a lot of sense, okay. And the best place to invest your money right now is also in Africa, because trust me, whether you like it or not, it kind of multiply for you, and you live a comfortable life at cheaper rates and also healthier life, because the food that we produce here in Africa is natural, right? So trust me, you're going to love it in Africa. Let's go ahead and watch this man's video, then we'll come back and wrap it up.
People in West Africa are starting to live better than people in the Western world. Now, I'm not talking about everybody, but I'm talking about if you're well-to-do, if you're doing pretty good in your life, it's better to be doing really well in Africa than it is to be in America. Now, I'm currently in America, and it's like a little bit of a culture shock coming back from Africa, because when you come here, you're around people who, on paper, they're very successful, rich, and all that. But all these people are drowning in debt. They got a nice car, but they don't own it. They've got a lease on it. They may say that they own a house, but they kind of do, but they have a huge mortgage on it. But in Africa, people own everything outright. And what does this lead to, like, in day-to-day life? Well, when you know someone who's well-to-do in Africa, they're a lot more relaxed. They feel like they can go on trips with you. They're a lot more generous. People here, even though they may have a lot of money on paper in America, the second they let their foot off the gas, the second they stop hustling, those bills will catch up on them really quick. And it shows, like, kind of why I feel West Africa is the future, because here people are putting up an appearance of being rich, well-to-do, but it's fueled by debt, and it's fueled by them working 2 jobs. Husband and wife are both working high-paying jobs, 50 hours a week each, and doing all of that to just create this facade. Whereas in West Africa, once these guys have made it, they're living good lives. They're having that balance in life, and they're not killing themselves. So I think long term, who am I betting on? I'm betting on the lifestyle of West Africa.
So guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. From all the stitches I've dropped for you guys here, I really love to know what you think about the high cost of living in Kenya. Is it so expensive for you, or is it on a normal? As for Kenyans who has actually traveled abroad, who are currently living abroad, can you compare the price of living in Kenya to wherever you are staying currently? Okay, and as a foreigner, let me know what your thoughts are also in the comment section. I'll be here to read from you. Thank you so much guys for watching. See you guys on my next video. If you have not subscribed, do well to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. See you.